going live and doing hair, and yeah, just talking about different topics that I always kind of cover in my lives. So I've talked about this again and again, but I feel like I know everybody has a different way that they approach YouTube, but I just have done some deep dive thinking about like my approach to YouTube, and I realized that the way I did YouTube 5-6 years ago, that's the way that I love doing YouTube, and why deviate from something that feels good and fun? So I know there's a lot of emphasis on live streaming on other platforms, but I'm going to argue as to why YouTube is your final destination. Hi, how you doing? One-stop shop for lives, because I don't like Instagram Live before I've done them, because it's vertical, and I don't really like the vertical format that much. I know TikTok and Instagram are kind of pushing us into vertical, but it used to be that everybody was like, oh, vertical looks bad and horizontal looks good, but all of a sudden, and it was funny because like even celebs that used to do vertical video, they used to say, oh, they didn't learn how to do the horizontal video. But ever since TikTok blew up, since the pandemic, all of a sudden vertical video is the piece de resistance. And personally, I don't like vertical video. I can live without it. It's not my thing. So going live on YouTube's the absolute best. There's other places that people like to go live, like Twitch. No, none of them. YouTube, first, foremost, and always. Because the way that I drive my channel is I like to emphasize my content. I know they're always telling us, go to other social platforms, promote yourself. But here's the truth, unless people really, really, really are excited about a specific thing that you have to say, which many people might be, a lot of people don't want to click out of the social network that they're on, okay? And I feel like at this point in time, I enjoy just getting like more organic traffic via YouTube. I know they're always telling us promote ourselves and make an Instagram account so people will know what you're up to, but I don't know, like sometimes, yeah, I like interacting with people on Instagram, but the reason that Instagram just kind of goes to the wayside for me is because YouTube was always my first love. And by the way, I want to do some clarification on what a social network is and social media. YouTube is actually social media. I know some people are like, oh, I'm on YouTube, I'm off social media. No, like YouTube is social media. It just feels different. The difference between YouTube and Instagram is that you're not adding people, and people can still follow you though. And you can follow them, and I think it feels a little bit more anonymous, just like Reddit. I used to kind of hate Reddit, but Reddit's kind of grown on me. Still not completely, because I don't know, some subreddits are good, some are questionable, but I'm liking it a little bit more. And I would say if you are looking for a social network that's a little bit more like YouTube, but where you want to promote yourself, Reddit might be a good place. But honestly, the whole promo thing, I think I would rather just emphasize like organic traffic on YouTube, like creating the content that makes you happy. So for me, YouTube is the absolute best place to go live. I don't need to go live on other platforms. I don't need to stretch myself thin just because we have like a content creator who gets up and says, you need to go on Twitch. But you have to remember, the people that are saying these things, they often get sponsored to say, oh, you should go here instead of there. Maybe they had some sort of brand deal, or maybe that's just their preference. I know that doing a lot of YouTube lives is not the most popular thing, although I find a lot of channels that live primarily on live. And that's my next topic I want to get into, this whole edited video creation thing. Like, I do some edited videos, but from the beginning of my channel, I was never like edited video girl. Like, if you want to be like very, very like edited and very obsessive about like details, I say give it to your artwork, give it to a hobby. It does not need to be in video creation. I just feel like it's become an obsession beyond compare, where people are like, oh my god, I can't post something unless it's perfect. You've gotten so far away from what YouTube was supposed to be back in the beginning, because I was here on YouTube in some shape and form on my first channel since 2008. And people didn't obsess back then. Like, it was just a fun platform. So if you want to have the fun in the platform, and yes, you grow with fun. You grow with fun. You grow by having fun and by being your dynamic self, not by emulating what some guru's doing. And a lot of these people that are like, oh, the edited content, they are flashes in the pan. Like, okay, they have like 1 million views on certain videos, and they might have 1 million followers, but a lot of these people, they leave YouTube. They stop uploading. They just move on to other projects. And YouTube is not something that they want to do long term. It's called a flash in the pan. It's like, let's say you were making something and the fire goes up. They just want a big flash. And then when it stops flashing, when it stops giving them like lots of views, they move on. They're not committed. They don't love YouTube. I always love YouTube. I like the interaction on YouTube. So what? Like, we don't get millions of views like we used to. Maybe TikTok has more views than YouTube. I tried TikTok. I still upload there occasionally, but I just don't necessarily love TikTok the way I love YouTube. I love long form content on YouTube, but I've never been the kind that wants to like just sit down and make a super edited video because, well, for me, honestly, it's a time constraint thing. I guess I could do that one day, but if I haven't, I just like more simple, fun, get ready with me kind of videos, and they don't have to be super edited. And it's funny, everybody's like, I want raw content. Well, there is raw content on YouTube. You just have to like look for it. I still find it, but I think it's with people that aren't as worried about like following the guru crowd. You have to kind of want to just do what makes you happy. And I believe growth and longevity for your channel will come with that. It might not be flash in the pan stuff, but flash in the pan stuff doesn't last forever either. I think being solid and like sticking with something long term is better than being a flash in the pan, because then like, okay, you were on YouTube, but people are like, well, what happened to so-and-so? That's because they didn't really love YouTube as a platform in a community. And some people always complain, well, why don't YouTubers interact with their comments? Like, if I leave comments, you know why they don't interact with their comments? Because they want to create this aura. I'm not putting down certain people's styles. Everybody has their own style, but they just want to look like they're a little mini filmmaker, and they want you to like be in awe of what they're doing, or they want to create that mystery. And personally, I don't really subscribe to that way of thinking, because I just always thought it was fun to interact with YouTube as a community, and I do view YouTube as a social network. It's just different than Instagram and Facebook, which, by the way, I'm not a fan of Facebook either. Like, people really love Facebook still, but I don't see the point. Like, I would rather just post something on YouTube. So, and then the next thing I want to get to is scheduling content. I don't ever want to do that. I know that they say that we have the ability to do that, and people kind of treat YouTube like, oh, I'm a show, like, which is fine. A lot of people do that, but I'm not a show. I'm on a journey. Like, this is content about my journey. It's not a show. I'm not a show. I respect people that want to treat YouTube like a show, but I don't at this point in my life. I just want to treat it as a personal hair journey where I talk about things that have worked for me over the years. And yeah, so I'm probably never going to have scheduled content, because I think the whole scheduled content trope creates a lot of anxiety for people, and a lot of curators can't keep up with it, and then they keep having to change their original schedule, and it just seems like a lot of work for like a lot of headache. And we have so many schedules in our lives. I give people 120% permission not to schedule their content on YouTube. Second off, you can be serious about a lot of things, but the last thing I think you should be serious about is creating like some sort of like video persona or edited video schedule that just isn't you. And I just love the fun side of YouTube, where it was interactive and dynamic and you talked about things. And yes, there's a lot of really good podcasts on YouTube, or people do research. Like, I have watched some of what Bailey Sarian puts on there. She's really interesting. She's a lot of fun. That's great. But she has a whole, like, team of people that are helping her with that. And I'm just a realistic person. I don't have a team of people that are, like, behind me. I'm just me, Julia, doing my own hair content. And I'm not really looking to hire people to help me promote my content in any way, because honestly, bills, economy, I'm a realistic girl. You have to have lots of those extra things, and honestly, yeah, I just don't want to hire somebody because there's no guarantee that their vision is going to align with mine, and I know they're going to tell me to do things in a way that doesn't make me happy. And I would not be happy being overly curated and scheduling my content. And it's just like, everybody does that. It's like the big time YouTubers. Like, there's not a lot of people, like there's a couple that still go live and they're a little bit more raw in their content. But yeah, I gravitate towards them as personalities. I don't gravitate towards the people who don't answer their comments and don't interact with their audience. Like, I just kind of, after a while, I'm like, yeah, I don't see the point of watching your content if that's the kind of YouTuber you are. I wouldn't be supporting you. And some people, like, in the comments get really frustrated because the curator never answers their comment. And you know that they see it, or they have a team of people who see it. They should at least hire people to interact with the comments. Like, if you have a whole team behind you and you don't have people that are addressing comments on your videos for the duration of the live that is on YouTube, that is a little bit of laziness on part of the creator. It's just kind of lazy. I'm like, no, I don't like that. But I think it harkens back to the people, they want to treat YouTube like a film. They want you to react so they get views, but they don't really want to interact with you. Like, they're more like actors. I think a lot of people on YouTube are aspiring actors, or they go into acting, or they're into filmmaking in some way, and I'm into neither of those things, because I find, like, you know, I did see the Barbie movie recently, but in general, I'm not a big fan of filmmaking and movies. Like, I used to watch a lot of movies when I was younger, and I still have good memories of movies, but the older you get, the just happier you are not to watch movies, because I can read an article or a book if I want to be entertained on some level. I don't need to sit down and watch a movie. And yeah, I just got to the point that if I'm going to do something creative, like, I can do a YouTube video. I don't need to watch a movie. I like finding my own entertainment, so I don't really like to sit down and, like, some of the storylines in movies just really would bother me to no end, and I just wouldn't like the way that the writer wrote the script, or like their vision, and I thought, well, why do that to yourself? And people would be like, it's just a movie, like, you should just let it go. So I think part of the reason I'm not into not that super curated videos are not beautiful, I had to do some deep dive thinking about this. I'm like, why is Julia not big on edited video format? Like, why? Because to me, it just doesn't jive with who I am. And there's definitely live content, like they have live news programs or live talk shows, and yeah, maybe people have some cues, and yeah, maybe they have a scheduled time, but I don't have a team of people working behind me, and maybe I just want to go on and have fun. So this channel just continues to be me doing it my way every day, you know, not in a way that makes other people happy. Thank you. So, like, my biggest goal is not to make anybody else happy. Like, my biggest goal in life is to make myself happy. I just focus on myself all the time. Like, I just don't have, because there's enough things going on in the world that I have beyond myself where I can help people in my immediate family. So when it comes to, like, my content, it's all about, like, what makes me happy. And some people are like, oh my god. But all the edited curators are doing that too. Like, they want the views. And a lot of people now, even the really curated ones, like, they're coming on YouTube and they're doing videos because revenue has dropped with the ad thing. it's kind of gone down. And they're like, oh, support me here and support me there, because it's just not what it used to be. Like, but everything changes, and I guess you kind of have to diversify, and I can respect that. If you are an entrepreneurial person, I do respect, like, hey, maybe you want some people to buy something via your Amazon shop. Like, if you wanted to do that for me, that's cool. But I don't know. I just, at the end of the day, I've done product reviews, but I think I want to be more strategic about it and just share things I like that I bought. Like, I'm done reviewing things that companies wanted to send me. Like, it got weird. It got super weird. Like, I was being asked to do things with a product and not being paid for it. Most people would at least be paid $100 or something. And I made free content, but I was told it wasn't good enough because I didn't present it in a way that they wanted to use it for an ad. And it just got so weird. And then I was still getting more offers, and they weren't even like things that they were nice things, but I just decided, unless something's really, really good, like it's a really good product, something that I really believe in, like, I'm not gonna knock myself out to review products anymore unless it's something I bought myself. I completely decided that. So that's the direction I'm taking my channel in. But let's talk about products. So I've been seeing a lot of talk about different hairbrushes, and I've talked about this a little bit the other day. Like, some people, well, especially on TikTok, more than YouTube, but on TikTok, like, I guess one of the popular things is now you can promote a certain product and sell it and people buy it. So there's this thing called the Unbrush, and it basically just looks like a vented brush with like really bendy bristles, and they're like, oh my gosh, it is detangling my hair better than ever. But I find the videos very cringe, because you'll see a woman, she takes the brush and she starts at the top of her hair and she's just pulling and ripping, and she goes, look, not much hair came out. And I don't know, I just didn't like that. It wasn't for me. Like, I don't really like videos like that. And then they're like, this brush is only $19 on the TikTok shop. I have a link down here, which is fine, you know, I get it. Promote yourself. But I looked, because I did a little bit of sleuthing, this Unbrush thing. There's a dupe for it on Amazon for $6, and on Temu, there's a dupe for it for like $2. So I would really encourage you probably to look for a cheaper version. But then I also thought, you can just, like somebody said on one of their videos, brush your hair in sections and do it gently, and the wet brush, which is $4.99 at like TJ Maxx, is just as good. Oh no, it has a back side. Well, it's cushiony. The other one looks harder. So that was just my opinion on that. And everybody has a different opinion on these products. But this brush is pretty good. I don't think it's not good. I had a lot of opinions too, I guess. I just went on and on and on about all my philosophy on YouTube. I think going live on YouTube is great, and I'm going to braid out my hair eventually, but I just wanted to start getting ready a little bit with you guys and share some of my thoughts. And those are my thoughts on hair care, getting ready, going live, and scheduled content. Thanks for watching.